The lightning shows my weakness, the thunder knows my secrets. The storm is like a brother, it knows me like no other. So let it rumble, let it roll, 'cause it's all I know. You can keep your calm and easy, but that peaceful life ain't for me. The harshest gales call out from the tree, like it can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, it's like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. I see the waters rising with waves as strong as iron. My soul was born for running. The darkness is my compass, and I will follow where it goes, 'cause it's all I know. You can keep your sunshine story, but that peaceful life ain't for me. The harshest gales call out from the trees, like it can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, it's like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Sirens ring and run for shelter. I will chase that storm forever. The harshest gales call out from the trees, like they can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, feels like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. So let the rain come down. Let the rain come down.
Sorry about that. Welcome to the locker room. Let me get our incense going here. Get some sage to burn so we have some good vibes. Okay. All right. I'm Nancy. And, oh my gosh, my stomach's hurting. So, today we're going to talk about Tyler Robinson. I was doing some research over the weekend, and I found one stream that said that Tyler Robinson could in some way be connected with the Sebastian Rogers case. Well, I went back this morning to try to find that stream, and I can't find anything. I found something that said at night might have suggested it, but not that anything was proven. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole until we hear more about the rabbit hole. Okay? And as far as on Summer Wells, the young man that went to the swimming hole with Harper, is that his name? Harper? Hunter, his comments at the beginning is what they're trying to work off from right now, because it's making sense now, even though Candace debunked it. So they're kind of saying, and they're also saying that a brother-in-law or something can be blamed for taking Summer out into the woods. Can you see it right there? Look. This is heavy. See my toilet? It's a base and then it's a Tiffany top. It's all broad or pewter in between the. Oh, it's gorgeous. I love it. I told y'all I'd tell you what I paid for it. Got it at a yard sale for $4. $4. When she said $4, I said sold. So yeah, my husband was like, if you don't want it, take it down in my office and I'll admire it when I'm home. I'm like, you're in my turtle? I like turtles. I got turtles a whole shelf of turtles and frogs right there. I like turtles. So anyway, so let's get into, okay, first off we got to do this. Oh, I don't need this one open. Oh, there we go. I'm going to do, open this up. Whoa, what did I do? Did I make me go away? I'm sorry. It looked to me like I made me go away. Share screen, window. Look what I made. Go on screen. Okay. Warning. Coverage may contain real footage. Whoops. Go first. Go first. There we go. Coverage may contain real footage, audio, or graphic content. Did I spell content wrong? Oh, it should have a, there we go. Graphic content from the cases we are following. Viewer discretion advised. I'm going to make a new intro, which I intended to do this morning, but since I was up until like 2 and had to get back up at 6, I kind of was falling asleep a little bit. So I didn't get a new intro made. So anyway, there's that. I'm going to put it in the beginning of a new intro. I want to color the background or something. I don't know how to do all that. So, and then the next one is, whoops. Sorry about that. There we go. Our fair use notice that we're not doing anything unlawful. I'm not trying to take away from anybody. I'm giving everybody credit in the bottom of my comments down below. My cat wants in. He's been bugging me all day long. He goes outside and gets in these long stickers that's got like 4 little prongs on the end of them, gets them all in his fur, and then he comes charging through the garage and through the kitchen and jumps right up the recliner, right in my face, and I'm like, George, get out of my face. So I put him back down, and then I take all the stickers out of him. He bites me because he doesn't like me pulling the stickers out of his fur. So I pull the stickers out. He gets down, he goes out, and he does it all again all day long. Get back. But he's able to get in and out because I keep my back door open. I got a curtain screen there, and then we take our garage door and we leave it open about that much so that the cats can get in and out from under, but nobody can push it up because it's an electric garage door. So nobody can push it up to get in, but the cats can go in and out. And I want my husband, one time when he's home, to build me a cat door to put in, in my back door, my kitchen door, so that even in the wintertime, when my kitchen door has to be shut, my cats can come in and out. That's what I want. But you know how it is. And then remove that off the screen, and then we'll go to get into our story here. And I will admit that there's one article that came after I set up everything for today, so the credits for that is not in the description. I'll have to put the credit on my link over here in the sidebar, because it came in my email and I just opened my email and right before we came live. And since it's going, Tweedle's back there. Okay, what we know about Charlie Kirk shooting suspect Tyler Robinson. Okay, I wish I could get this box right here to go away. It won't. It won't go away. Okay, so anyway, there's a video here, and I want to make it. Oh, look what I just.
Tyler Robinson.
As Tyler Robinson graduated Pineview High School in 2021, photos and videos from his mother's Facebook page show him as a high achiever, graduating with such a strong academic record that he won a 4-year scholarship.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000.
But Robinson did.
Okay, this kid had a 4.0 GPA when he graduated high school. He could go anywhere. He could do anything. And he got a scholarship, a full free ride scholarship.
Not use all 4 years of that scholarship. He took a leave of absence after just 1 semester, according to Utah State University, and enrolled at Dixie Technical College in the Electrical Apprentice Program. It appears Robinson lived near his family at an apartment in St. George, where today law enforcement was at this complex. FBI technicians gathered evidence at the apartment. A neighbor described Robinson as super reclusive. This apartment is 3 hours away from Utah Valley, the site of the shooting. He lived here with a roommate who showed police messages.
The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point.
Okay, so that right there makes it premeditated. So, yeah. We'll find out more. I have to keep stopping for the fair use thing.
Leaving the rifle in a bush.
In the woods near the school, investigators found that rifle, along with bullet casings engraved with messages, some referring to online memes and video games, others seemingly political.
Hey, fascist! Exclamation point. Catch! Exclamation point. A second unfired casing read, "Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao."
That inscription, Bella Ciao, appears to reference an Italian anti-Nazi folk song, which has been used in recent years on video games and a TV show. Robinson's voter registration doesn't show any political leaning. He registered as unaffiliated with any party and had not voted in the last 2 general elections.
But he didn't like Republicans. So he's like me, unaffiliated. I'm neither. I vote independent. So that's what I do, independent. But he doesn't like Republicans. So he's far left wing, but he's unaffiliated. In Kansas, if you go to vote in August, when you go to do your registration and tell them you plan to vote, and they vote on some dumb little something for the county, you have to register either Republican or Democrat, but then you can go back and change it when it's the actual election time. I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess that's their way of saying, is the Republican going to get the more, or is the Democrat going to get the more, which is going to get the more. So I don't understand it, but because I don't do politics. So
actions. But he had recently become more political. A family member described what he said at a dinner.
In the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
It was his family and a friend who turned Robinson into the sheriff's department. Among the clues, investigators say they got footprints from Converse shoes when the suspect jumped off the roof. Photos show Robinson wearing Converse in several pictures, similar to surveillance photos captured at Utah Valley.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so I guess they had surveillance footage of everybody that went in and out of there. And because of where the video where he jumped, they looked for him in the entry and exit. I guess. I don't know. That's just what I'm suspecting. Where's my mouse? There it is. I need to make it bigger. I was going to do that earlier today and I forgot. I just got an email that Butler County, Kansas is starting an argument over the tag office, which I can understand that because when we lived in Arkansas, if you bought your truck in January and you tagged it in February, then the following February you tagged your truck. Here in Kansas, if you buy your truck in June and tag it in July, you have to re-tag it in August. Because you can't get a whole year tag, you can only get a 1 month tag. So it's stupid because if you have a truck, you have to tag it in August. If you have a car, you have to tag it in May. And if you have something on an off-road vehicle or something, it has to be tagged in a different month. And so there's only like the last 2 or 3 days of every month are the busiest days in the tag office because you have to go to a totally different office to get a driver's license. It doesn't make any sense. I think it should be the month you buy your tags is the month you re-tag your vehicle. In Missouri, when you tag your vehicle, you have to get it inspected the first time you tag it. So you have to go get a vehicle inspection. And then if you buy your tag on an even year, then you're always going to tag it on an even year. And if you buy it on an odd year, you're always going to tag it on an odd year. So your tags are always 2-year tags. I like that because it helped. There weren't so many cars out on the road that shouldn't be on the road, like half of the fenders falling off or a big break in the windshield or something, I like that. And plus you only have to come up with the money to tag your vehicle because my truck, it cost me over $150 to tag because it's a 2012. So they charged me more because it's a newer vehicle, but it's already over 10 years old. So I don't understand why I'm having to pay so much in taxes. So I don't know. Let's get back to Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson had a network of people around him. FBI. Okay, so here is what J.D. Vance had to say. And this is from Newsweek, and the link is in the description. Oh, we need some volume here.
And filling in for somebody who cannot be filled in for, but I'm going to try to do my best. My dear friend, the great Charlie Kirk.
Vice President J.D. Vance stepped in to host his late friend and conservative activist Charlie Kirk's show, calling it an honor to pay tribute. The Charlie Kirk Show is a podcast where Kirk weighed in on current events with what he called an unapologetically conservative, freedom-loving perspective. From personal stories to sharp accusations, here are some key takeaways from Vance's guest hosting of the show. Kirk was critical to President Donald Trump's rise.
He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president.
White House staff share personal stories about Kirk. Trump administration officials shared how Kirk shaped their lives. Vance said he encouraged him to be a better husband and father. White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller, said Kirk made him believe in himself. White House Press Secretary
Caroline Levitt
cited Turning Point USA, the organization that Kirk co-founded, as pivotal in energizing young conservative voices, including her own, adding that Trump, quote,
loved Charlie deeply. You know that.
Tucker Carlson, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Rob.
I like Tucker Carlson. He is, I don't watch him anymore. I used to, when my father-in-law was alive, he used to like watch Fox News. And Tucker Carlson, and there was another one that I really liked. I can't remember who he was. And then there was a lady. There was only 3 people I liked to watch. But my father-in-law would put Fox News on for all day long because he wanted to keep up with what was going on with President Trump. So, or up and coming, but Biden won the election. So,
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles also recounted their memories of Kirk. Officials called the assassination the result of an organized campaign. Vance and Miller pledged to target, quote, NGO networks that format, facilitate, and engage in violence. Miller described Kirk's assassination as the result of an organized campaign.
We're going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks and make America safe again.
Vance accused left.
that sounds good. That's something I can get behind. Is now I'm not saying, because I'm telling you, and I told you before, it was not the weapon that unalived Mr. Kirk. It was the person holding it. So they shouldn't try to stop people from owning or having a weapon. Because if you need self-defense, then you need self-defense. But what kind of person are you that you feel the need? What do you have to hide if you feel the need to have a concealed carry permit? Now, when I was armed security guard, because of my job, I didn't have to have a concealed to carry permit. But my boss and I taught the class. If I'd have chose to pay for the permit, which was like over $100, I could have gotten my concealed to carry permit. But I didn't want it. The only time I needed my weapon was when I was going to and from work and while I was at work. And a lot of the jobs, I didn't even need my weapon then. So, I mean, the only time I remember ever actually carrying it was when we worked gate duty at the fair. And I had never unholstered my weapon. I don't even have it anymore because I don't like weapons. But I never unholstered that weapon because my boss said, if you unholster it, you better plan on using it. If you plan on using it, you better plan on it being permanent. He said, otherwise you're just going to make somebody mad and you're going to get hurt. So I don't think they should take the Second Amendment away. I don't.
Wing extremists of contributing to Kirk's assassination. Vance called for unity while blaming the left. Ending a 2-hour-long show, Vance said data shows that people on the left are more likely to defend and celebrate political violence.
This is not a both sides problem.
Vance then called for unity amid the political violence that's infesting this country. Vance and his wife, Usha Vance, flew Kirk's casket to Phoenix on Air Force Two, the day after the conservative activist assassination. Kirk's wife, Erica, has promised that both the show and the campus tour will continue.
Wow. That's good that she's going to keep her husband's legacy going. Now, whatever I was going to put up here is not wanting to load. I've got the little spinny circle thing, and I really can't go on to the next thing until that one loads. So what do we want to talk about? Am I going to ever clean up that pile in the corner? That is pretty much an empty tote that's got stuff piled on top of it. And that one of them's my Christmas stocking. I never got put away. So, okay, it loaded. So let's bring it up. Okay. Tyler Robertson, charged in Charlie Kirk's unaliving, could face the unaliving penalty. Whoa. Live now from Fox. Okay. Now, I could read all the stuff go down below here, but if it's going to be on video, I could stop the video and talk, because the link is in the description below. It's never done that before. Up above my StreamYard, it says now sharing tips from fox32chicago.com, StreamYard.com. Is it going to play?
Central defense that they had articulated during trial. That's the self-defense defense. That they said is in essence that the reason they killed their parents is they believed their parents were going to kill them first, the night of August 20th, 1980.
Okay, he's talking about the Menendez brothers here. He's supposed to be talking about Charlie Kirk.
89, so they had to brutally shotgun them to death in order to make sure that didn't happen. We showed that was a bald-faced lie, a lie that the Menendez brothers persist in telling for the last 30 years to this day, by showing that they bought the shotguns that ultimately killed their parents 2 days ahead of time.
Okay, now, it says on the top of my screen, it says Tyler Robinson charged, and we even read that up on the screen up above. So I don't know why he's talking about
in San Diego under fake names, that they then had a pre-planned alibi set up for that particular night. They were going to be going to Batman the movie and even tried to purchase Batman the movie tickets after the murders.
Oh, I know why.
They'd actually practiced with the shotguns the day before.
So
and when they killed their parents, they did it methodically to look.
Tyler James Robinson, 22, is accused of fatally banging a conservative activist, Charlie Kirk, during a public event in Utah. Prosecutors formally charged Robinson with aggravated red rum, among other charges. A judge will eventually determine whether Robinson could face the unalive penalty. Provo, Utah. Prosecutors announced on Tuesday they would be filing a notice of intent to seek the unalive penalty against Tyler James Robinson, the man accused of unaliving conservative activist Charlie Kirk. James Robinson, 22, was arrested late last week after a 33-hour manhunt and booked into Utah County Jail on suspicion of aggravated red rum, obstruction of justice, and felony charges of a firearm causing serious bodily harm. Prosecutors are weighing whether to pursue a capital murder charge, which would carry the unalive penalty, or life in prison under Utah law. Let's see what this has to say.
Metal Arc Landscape and Design wants to make your dream outdoor space even better. When you book your hardscape
Let's turn our attention right now back to the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, as the suspect, Tyler Robinson, expected to be in court potentially tomorrow, as authorities likely to file those capital murder charges against him. This is a live picture right now, the vigil on the campus of UVU, as a suspect in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk, a dominant figure in conservative politics, one of the nation's largest political organizations. Investigators already using DNA evidence to link the suspect with the screwdriver recovered from the rooftop where the fatal shot was fired. Let's bring into the conversation right now to discuss the legal ramifications of this. Former federal prosecutor, friend of the program, Nima Rahmani. Nima, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And this is a state case, a local case. It's not federal. What went into that strategy, and could it soon become the feds?
That's weird, because he was a political activist. Why is it not federal? We're going to find out.
It could absolutely become a federal case, Andy. And state filed first, and we've seen them file first in other cases, notably Luigi Mangione, obviously DeCarlos Brown in Charlotte. There's always the possibility of the Department of Justice filing over the state. Now, that's something that Attorney General Pam Bondi and the local U.S. Attorney's Office will decide. I think one of the big factors they consider is whether that state has the death penalty. Obviously, New York doesn't. That's why they're seeking the death penalty there for Luigi Mangione, who's actually has a court hearing tomorrow in state court as well. And North Carolina, even though they have the death penalty, in theory and practice, they don't, because under state law there, you need a physician present, and the medical board there doesn't allow physicians to be present. So the question is, are we going to see federal charges in the Tyler Robinson case? And I still think we may. When you have the president of the United States, the director of the FBI, the deputy director of the FBI, and the attorney general talking about a case, there is a political layer on top of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see federal charges against Robinson as well. That gives the prosecution two bites at the apple. It's not double jeopardy because they're dual sovereigns. We have seen it in other cases. So it does give the feds two cracks at the death penalty if that's what prosecutors ultimately decide to do.
Oh, so I guess what they're saying is if Utah doesn't want to do the D penalty, then the feds can step in and try the case under federal law and use the D penalty. Wow. Wow.
And let's get into that decision, the kind of conversations that are had about this. And you mentioned that it could be taken up by the federal authorities. Could it be a domestic terrorism?
Okay, I got a question. Now, I read that they're using DNA from his sweat where his arms was on this roof, okay? He's wearing long sleeves. He did have a palm print. He could have had a sweaty palm. But they said they got DNA from sweat on his forearms that was on the, but his forearms, he's wearing long sleeves. So how could they have done that? Maybe he practiced it before at another time when there wasn't cameras, practiced how to get down.
In cases that's likely, are there additional charges that would allow the feds to get involved, persuade them to get involved more?
Andy, that's absolutely right. You need a federal jurisdictional hook. So this wasn't the murder of a federal official or murder on federal property. So you need a federal law that applies to allow you to get into federal court. And I think terrorism is the most likely law that we would be talking about. So an act of violence committed based on one's political beliefs sort of influence the public. You may even get a potential civil rights charge if the murder was committed to really silence Charlie Kirk and his political speech. So I think that's another way to get there. I mean, there are potential interstate components as well, but I'm not sure necessarily any of these apply. Like some of the other cases we talked about, Brian Koberger, for instance, going from Washington State to Idaho. Seems like this just happened in the state of Utah.
Yeah, of course, Tyler Robinson, the shot happening in Orem, Utah. He was taken into custody there in Washington, Utah, in southern Utah. I do want to ask you about other components because you mentioned the differences between a federal case and a state case.
Okay, so anyway, they're talking about how he can be, it could go federal, but they don't know that it will. I don't want to listen to the whole last 6 minutes because these two guys are boring. And plus, I might get something. Newsweek is really good about giving you a copyright strike if you use too much of their video. So, walking shoes for elderly with poor balance. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to stick with my barefoot hackers. They're coming out with the winter line. My husband's like, we need those. Okay, so anyway. Okay. Okay. Here we go again. There we go. There we go. Okay. Images of Lance Twigs from social media. Okay, Lance Twig was Tyler Robinson's roommate and partner, in a way. Tyler Robinson, suspect accused of fatally bang bang Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk at a speaking event in Utah Valley, Utah, UVU, on Wednesday, had a romantic partner who was in the process of transitioning from male to female. Utah Governor Spencer Cox told NBC News' Kristen Welker on Sunday on Meet the Press. In further appearances with CNN on Sunday, Cox said his partner has been very cooperative, had no idea that this was happening. The FBI told Fox News that Robinson lived with Twigs in St. George, Utah, which is 4 hours from UVU. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino confirmed on the Megyn Kelly show on Tuesday that the name of Robinson's boyfriend was Lance Twigs. Post pictures and details from Lance Twigs' social media show details of their life prior to the event. Why it matters. President Donald Trump blamed the radical left for Kirk's assassination during a national address on Wednesday night as the investigation and tensions were high, escalating across the country. Mr. Trump was widely criticized by liberals for jumping to that conclusion before any suspects had been arrested. When Robinson surrendered to authorities, liberals focused on his family's conservative background and evidence that Mr. Trump may have been wrong. Kirk was an opponent of transgender rights advocate and was discussing transgender mass shootings when he was fatally unalived. The last post on the Facebook account of Lance Twigs is dated 27/12/23. It shows Twigs on a skiing trip with his face obscured while wearing ski gear. It is captioned, "Just went snowboarding with my sister. Took a couple of tries, but I was able to kind of land a 180 right at the end." The post also includes videos of Twigs skiing down the mountain. Details on the Facebook page list Twigs as a digital creator who studied at Utah Tech University, lives in St. George, and is from St. George. So he drives 4 hours a day to school. I don't think so. They must have had an off-campus apartment while they were. The Facebook page includes a link to Instagram account Sir Lancelot, which was set to private. There's also a TikTok account linked to Twigs with 9 videos posted. One shows a person holding a toad with filter effects including lightning and fire. Another video shows filming a bathroom with the text overlay. It's Werder Theory. I don't know what that means. Another video shows Twigs wearing a hat and headphones eating something, and the clip cuts to a person looking down at an animal before cutting to the clip of another animal, then a person skateboarding, then a person holding up their hands, then 2 dogs. That don't make any sense. In another video, okay, what people are saying. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino asked on the Kelly Megan show if Lance Twigs is the name of Robinson's boyfriend. That's the boyfriend's name. From the information we've accumulated, both forensically and digitally, in the comms between the two, and some of the statements from family and friends, that there was a relationship here that may have been beyond platonic. I think we have a good body of information at this point indicating that. Utah Governor Spencer Cox on Meet the Press. Now, okay, from my view, it doesn't matter to me if they're both male, if one's transgender, if they're both female, it doesn't matter to me. You do you. I'm going to do me. Don't try. I won't try to change you if you don't try to change me. So that's simple. Okay. Utah Governor Spencer Cox on Meet the Press. According to family and people that were interviewing, he does come from a conservative family, but his ideologically was very different than his family. And so that's part of it. We do not know that the roommate that had originally talked about, we can confirm that that roommate is a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. We also know that piece. So we know that piece. I will say that that person has been very cooperative with authorities. President Mr. Donald Trump, in a video posted on Truth Social on Wednesday, for years those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we are seeing in our country today, and it must stop. I agree. It must stop no matter who's doing it. What happens next? Prosecutors in Utah County are expected to file formal charges on Tuesday. Robinson is expected to attend an initial court appearance. Investigators have said they will disclose more forensic findings and interview results as the case proceeds. Okay, and then you can get a subscription to Newsweek. That was from MSN, and this one also is from MSN. Let me pull it up here for you. If not, if my moderator's hiding in the background watching the comments, she would say, "There's nothing showing. Put it on screen." She's good about that. Oh, I don't want that. Reject it. I did something wrong. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back to the right page. If I can get that to go away. See, there we go. There we go. Okay. Scroll this back down. Examining claim Tyler Robinson's father vowed to donate $1.15 million reward to Charlie Kirk's family. Is Is Tyler Robinson's father going to get that reward for turning him in? Matthew Robinson, the father of 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who investigators suspect killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a Utah Valley University event on September 10, 2025, vowed to donate a $1.15 million reward to Kirk's family after he helped encourage his son to surrender to law enforcement. Rating. False about this rating. A rumor that circulated online in September claimed that the father of 22-year-old Robinson, who investigators suspect unalived conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a UVU event on September 10th, vowed to donate a $1.15 million reward to Kirk's family after he helped encourage his son to surrender to law enforcement. One Snopes reader emailed with a link to an article on an advertisement-filled website displaying the headline, "Breaking, Tyler Robinson's father vows to donate $1.5 million reward to Charlie Kirk's family." Numerous social media users promoted this rumor with the same link. For example, on September 14th, the Cowboys Fan Hub Facebook page archived a meme allegedly showing photos of Robinson and his father, identified as Matthew, in unrelated reporting from BBC News, with the purported quote, "This is what a father is supposed to do. My son wronged the Kirk family, and it's my responsibility to help him face that mistake. The money is enormous, but it's not meant for me. I want it to go to the Kirk family instead." The post received more than 41,000 reactions and 2,500 shares. Okay. So I guess Snopes is saying it was a false rumor. But you know what? If he did do that, that would be awesome. That would just be totally awesome. Okay, we got two. Well, let me show you what I've got here. This is where I did a search for Tyler Robinson. Who is Tyler Robinson? What we know about Charlie Kirk. Okay, that was the very first article that we read. Charlie Kirk suspect, what we know about him. And then this is coming around telling all this. Okay. Let me let it load here. Okay, here's the link. This is from CBS News. And I'm just finding this article right now, so we're both new to it. Charlie Kirk shooting suspect charged with aggravated red rum could face D penalty. Okay, let's see if there's sound to this.
Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
We are the trial team on this case.
And
I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate.
Okay, so they are asking for the D penalty. Okay.
To the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grander. Mr. Robinson,
Okay, now I don't know what he was just talking about. All that was gibberish to me. So I hope if you understood it, please put in the comments and explain that section of what he was talking about, because I have no idea.
what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time. Thank you. Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment.
Wait a minute. Did he say Charlie Kirk and another person? Let me back that up just a minute.
Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant.
Okay, he caused the great risk of death to another individual, so somebody that was standing close to him. Okay, I got you. So he didn't hurt 2 people. Okay.
Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2.
Ooh, so he can be charged for committing the crime in the presence of children, a child, because parents took their children to the event. Ooh, I've never seen that happen before. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't, but I've just never seen it.
Felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony, in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, discharged a firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.1.
Okay, what he's reading is aggravated red rum, D penalty charge, felony discharge of a pew-pew, 2 counts of obstruction of justice, 2 counts of witness tampering, and commission of a violent offense in presence of a child. Okay, so that is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charges against him.
For sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child, aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson, with intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree.
Okay, so I'm just taking a break here because of, fair use and everything and cutting into this, but what did we read about a screwdriver that they're using for DNA? That'll probably come up in the trial part. And I don't know, they of course haven't set his trial date, but when they do, good Lord willing, I'd like to be here and kind of live stream Mob Crew or something like that, to see what's going on.
Felony in violation of Utah Code 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony. Count 5, tampering with a witness.
So changing your clothes after you commit this type of a crime is a felony. So that means Brian Koberger, when he changed his clothes, that could have been another felony charge. And when he scrubbed out his car, that could have been a felony charge. Wow. No wonder he took the plea deal.
A third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony, information, a document, or an item, to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages. Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information, to wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police questioned the roommate.
Okay, we already know that the roommate was very cooperative and did not remain silent.
Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code annotated
Okay, so that's not a felony.
76-3-203.10 sub 2 and 76-3-203.14 sub 3a little double I, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson.
Okay, so that tells us all the things that he's doing, that he did, and he's being charged for. And he's doing this because he doesn't agree with Kirk. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't agree with everything my daughter does, but I'm not going to unalive her. She don't agree with everything I do, but she's not going to unalive me. I mean, serial. If you don't agree with somebody, turn your head and go the other way. Just go the other way. You don't have to let it bother you like this.
This case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver hearing, and I will be the judge assigned to this case. And Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, yeah, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Gurander, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
Okay. So they're going to do a WebEx, which is what they're doing with him right now, because he's still at the corrections facility, and he's just by video. So that's what they're going to do, and I've written it down so that I can try to get us. You can't see it. See, I wrote it down, so we can try to get coverage of that, providing I remember. I always say I'm going to do something, and then when it's time to do it, I forgot that I was going to do it, and I'm like, oh man, I could have had a VA. Okay. Now let's see what the other one that I did slate, but I also have to put I have to put the link here. And this is a long link because it's on 11 News. It's straight off of Bing, so it's going to be like a half a page link. I don't like those really long links like that, but what can we do, you know? See how long that link is? Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Here is, okay. They're talking in here about a dead infant found in a home. Okay. Charlie Kirk unaliving, or Tyler Robinson charged with aggressive Redrum faces death penalty. Officials have announced that the charges that the man who is accused of banging and unaliving Charlie Kirk will face doesn't go any farther. Tyler Robinson was charged with aggravated red rum. He also faces weapon and obstruction charges, according to the Associated Press reporter. Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray announced the felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. This charge brings a sentence of up to life in prison, or 25 years could be. And it doesn't say anything more. It goes into other stories. And this isn't a video. Well, that's disheartening. Do you want to hear this about this? I mean, it's not part of what we're covering, but it looks important. Where's the sound? They were just playing it. What happened? Okay, it sounds up. Well, I guess we don't get to, maybe if I refresh the page. What happened? Okay. Hello, H. Davis. I always get commercials. Well, that's not what we wanted to read. See, I don't have one of them lines I can back up. Well, I guess we don't get to see it. Which bites, because that looked like it might have been an interesting story. "11 cares happening today. Cares packed bus. Providers provide families free farmers." I'm not seeing that story. Y'all saw it, didn't you? H. Davis, how are you doing today? Robert Redford passed away today. Did y'all hear that? Well, I can't find that story. Well, that's sad. I can't find that story. Okay. So anyway, now we know a little bit more about Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, And like I said, I did see where they said something. At Night had posted something. He didn't actually post it. It was in a link I found on Grok about Tyler Robinson possibly being connected with the Sebastian Rogers case. But I don't want to give out any false information because when I went to search for details on that this morning, I couldn't find anything. So all I did find was something stating that it's unconfirmed. So until I know more, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to put it out there that I did read it on Grok when I did an update for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, who is currently still not home. We're still praying that he can come home. Dog the Bounty Hunter, or At Night Creative Works, or whatever they're calling themselves this month, says they're still hopeful. Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, is still hopeful that Sebastian will be brought home safe and alive. And we are all still hopeful that Sebastian will be brought home safe and alive. But I kind of think in my heart that it's not going to happen until after Sheriff Craddock gets out of office and a new sheriff's brought in. So Sebastian may be gone for 5 years. It may be another thing like Summer Wells. After they got a new sheriff in there, so Summer Wells was found within a couple of months of getting a new sheriff. So I'm thinking that after Sheriff Struggle's gone, we'll find Sebastian. And I'm hoping it won't be like the Summer Wells and that Sebastian will be alive and well. All right, that's all I have for today. To the best of my knowledge, I have no gauging or pressing engagements tomorrow. So I should be here live and well at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And I have no idea what we're going to cover. Thank you to the 3 people that hit the thumbs up today, the 3 people that were in chat. I appreciate y'all. If you're in chat right now, please hit the thumbs up. If you're watching on replay, please hit the thumbs up and leave comments. Tell me what you think about my stories. Am I covering good stories? Am I doing a better job covering them? Am I learning more as I go? What do you think? And let's remember H. Davis, who's still struggling with the loss of his friend a week ago yesterday in an accident while she was crossing the road. That's very sad because she was a very close friend to him. So do something nice for someone, even if it's be the reason they smile. Be on Crime Search.